Okay, here we are doing Matthew 5:17, and today's date. You can take a look at what's on the video right here. It shows you the last time I updated this. There might be some other updates in the middle of it there. So, what does the question I'm going to ask is, what Yeshua says can be modified? You have to answer that yes or no. What did Yeshua teach and what did he not teach? And can we pass the scriptural test? And then the next question is, do we even know what the scriptural test is? So I'm going to go and bring up the first item here, which is Deuteronomy 30, verse 11. This commandment which I command you this day is not too hard for you, neither is it far off. So, for those that have any doubts on whether or not you can do what God tells you you can do, the answer from his point of view is yes, you can do it. So, why the Torah? Ezekiel 20:20. Hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am Yahovah, your Elohim. So, here we are. We have the reason that he, the Almighty, has given for this. They shall be a sign between me and you. What does that have to do with anything? Let's take a look. Fulfill or fulfilled. What is the proper interpretation of the phrase? Law is what is the proper understanding of that word or that phrase? Okay, Matthew 5:17, we see that Yeshua says, it's in red letters, so I guess it's valid, right? Think not that I came to destroy the law and the prophets. I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. So, what is it to fulfill? What are you to fulfill? And I'll add another question. Does it mean to abolish? We read in 1 John 2:6, where the apostle says, he that says he abides in him, Yeshua, ought himself also to walk even as he walked. And in John 8:55 we read, and ye have known him, you have not known him, he's speaking to the Pharisees, but I know him. And if I should say I do not know him, I would be like you, a liar. But I know him and keep his word. Now you believe this, that Yeshua walked amongst them for many years, and now he's coming out and getting basically in their face. So one of my points is Yeshua kept the whole law, so I don't have to keep it. Is that a phrase that you have heard? This quote is a half-truth and therefore a lie. I'm going to change this right here, and I'm going to put an underline here, and I'm going to write in right next to it. It says, no, Yeshua did not keep the whole of the Torah. period. End of discussion. Nothing else to discuss. We're going to see that not only did Yeshua not keep the whole Torah, he was not required to keep it all, and neither are you or I. Now we have Yeshua fulfilled the Torah of the law. Okay, read Psalm 119. It has a lot on that. We're not going to go into that psalm. It's too extensive. But it is what the Torah means to Yehovah. In Romans 8 and 7 we read, because a carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the Torah or law of God, neither indeed can it be. Now we see that Shaul supported the law or the Torah, and instead of saying, what he's saying here is 1b, the carnal mind in this verse, Shaul, is not able to be subject, neither indeed can it be, is the quote, to the Torah. This does mean that so I don't have to crowd is carnal and is enmity or at war against God. Question, are you in the flesh when you say this, or in the spirit? You need to ask yourself that question. Paul says, so I don't have to people are what? Lawless, outside the Torah? No, quote, at enmity with God. These people are without the spirit of Yehovah. They are outside the protection and the blessings of Yah. They are against Yah. We read in Romans chapter 9 and 8, but ye are not of the flesh, not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of Messiah, he is none of his. So remember that verse. If you are in the Spirit, you can do what he says. If you are not in the Spirit, as Shaul says, it's impossible to do that. And number 1b, fulfill, plueru. Pluero never means to abolish, nor to bring to an end. Bringing to an end meaning that it will never have to be repeated or done again. For an explanation on Pleru, I have a subtopic below at item number C. If Yeshua says a thing is, let me ask this question, does that mean that it is, it exists, and it never will change? Is that what that means? If Yeshua says a thing is not to be changed, does that mean it will never be changed, or without his express directive? Or does that mean an apostle, we, a pastor, a PhD priest, a church, can change his is not changed into it is to be done away with? You have to decide which one it's going to be. Do you accept that Yeshua is the prophet? That's another question. So let's determine whether or not you even know who has the authority here. Do you know who is the authority? In Deuteronomy 18 through 19, we read, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. This actually, I think, starts in verse 15 also. 15 through 19. He repeats it twice that he will raise up a prophet. Verse 18, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren like unto you, Moses, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I shall command him. Verse 19, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken to my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. I will make diligent search into it to see if it is true or not. Okay, so we need to examine the words of this verse and either Shema, do it, or deny it. So we need to ask ourselves the question, what is your choice? Write down your answer. Don't deviate from it. Chazeh, chazeh, v'ni chazeh, which is at the end of every single one of the 5 books before we start the next book of the Pentateuch. Be strong, and let us be courageous. The milk of the word is for the immature. You need to be mature. So, let's look at number 2 here. I may be able to cover this one also. Actually, it doesn't look like I can. And there's number 3. I'm going to skip down to number 3 and skip number 2, since we only have 4 minutes left in this 15-minute segment. Let's see if we can pass the test, and do we know what the test is? What is the test? We take a look at Deuteronomy 13. For Yahovah your God proves you to know whether you will love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Do you know your God? Do you know His Word? Will you follow the Word or the multitude? Will you follow the Word or tradition? Galatians 3:18. For if the inheritance is of the law, okay, and I'm going to switch over to that right now. For if the inheritance is out of the law, it is no more of promise. God has granted it to Abraham by promise. Now I'm going to switch over to the Greek here. As soon as I find where that tag is up here on the bar up above. The interlinear Greek is what I'm looking for. And for some reason it has disappeared on me. Okay, so let's go to